And welcome back to Golf Live on a Tuesday afternoon. We'll be here every Tuesday going forward. Glad you're with us, Trey Wingo, Justin Ray. As we said in the top of the show, it is Bay Hill Week, Arnold's tournament, and we are delighted to be joined now on Golf Live by former U.S. Open champion, former U.S. Senior Open champion, and the only man in the history of the PGA Tour with two sub-60 rounds on his resume, Jim Furyk. Jim, thanks for being with us this morning or this afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself? Great to be with you. This is the maiden
I
voyage, right?
This is
Oh,
this is the one. So we had to bring out the big guns. We had to bring out a
congrats.
steel. We had to bring out a Steelers fan, and we had to bring out a U.S. Open champion to make sure people took us seriously.
There
So
you go.
we appreciate you being with us. First of all, before we get into anything else, you are going to be making your broadcast debut this week, doing work with Golf Channel and NBC for Bay Hill, and then subsequently at the Players Championship. How did that all come about?
Well, I've done a few days here and there throughout my career. I was hurt, had some surgery back in '04. Did a couple days at the Players Championship here in my hometown. Did a couple days out in Hawaii at Kapalua. One year I was not in the field, but I had a home out there. Absolutely, one of my favorite places in the world. And last year I did a little work for the Champions Tour. I peeked in the Ponte Vedra, sat with my good buddy Paul Azinger, did a day with the Ally Championship at Warwick Hills, an event that I've won in the past, and had some fun. Kind of threw some feelers out there and started talking to the folks at the Golf Channel, and we kind of came up with starting at API and players and giving it a kind of a 2 week trial, see how I like it, see how they like me, kind of figure things out and go from there. But for right now, I'm just trying to focus on these two events, the 6 days that I get a chance to work and watch some golf. And I'm excited to be in the booth with Terry Gannon, Steve Sands, Kurt Byram, all guys that I know very well and great professionals. So it'll be a good team to work with. And I'll see how it goes. See if I like it. And again, I've had some friends that hop in and they're just naturals. I think Kevin Kisner does an amazing job. He's a natural at it.
Absolutely.
I've had some folks that have hopped in and have struggled. So just go see and have some fun with it and hopefully you know, I guess hopefully some personality comes out. I was always really, really quiet on the golf course, always pretty stoic. Always had folks tell me that, hey, you got to smile a little bit out there. And so I'm a guy that likes to have fun and enjoy myself. And so hopefully that personality comes out on TV.
Of that, I have no doubt. And the guys you mentioned, all three of them know them very well. You'll do great with those guys. They're absolutely awesome. So you are obviously a meticulous player. You are very someone that very much prepares to play golf. What has your preparation been like to sort of see it from the other side?
Are you going to grade me here, Trey?
Not at all. This is a grade-free, stress-free. We are
Yeah,
having fun environment. So I'm just curious what your preparation was like.
I think that's something I think about. I was asked that once before, and I think when I first went out on the PGA Tour, I felt like I was preparing well. But then I'd look over and I'd see a veteran like Tom Kite, and I'd be like, he's working on something there. I have no idea what he's doing, and I'd kind of go over and ask some questions and try to get better. And I think a lot of that comes with experience. Your preparation, what needs to be done, comes with experience. Um, I've been in my mind going over the golf course at Bay Hill. I've been watching a little bit more golf than I usually do, trying to get a feel for the flow of the telecast. Kind of looking down a field list right now, trying to get comfortable with maybe a few of the younger players that I don't know very well. I mean, I've been involved in a lot of President's Cups, a lot of Ryder Cups. The top name players, the guys that have been around for the last 5 years and played on those teams. I'm very comfortable with their game, their style, who they are as a player and a person. But there'll be some younger players that, you mentioned earlier in your, Echeverria, you had Jacob Bridgman win a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Guys that, I watched and I got to see their game a little on TV, but not really, maybe not, won't know their strengths and weaknesses as well as I would say, my Ryder Cup team, for instance. And so just kind of going through that a little bit and looking at the weather, looking what we're going to see out there wind wise, direction, how the golf course may play. Just in some senses, preparing a little bit like I would as a player, but then also trying to kind of think ahead and get my ducks in a row as an announcer.
Well, if you're dealing with data, believe me, no one is better than the guy that I do this show with, Justin Ray.
All right.
He knows more about golf than the rest of us will probably forget for the rest of our lives, or it's the
All
other way
right.
around. He'll forget more than we know. That makes more sense. So Justin, I believe you have some data here for Jim.
Well, I wanted to ask Jim, and first of all, thank you. You're selling me way too high to U.S. Open champion, and who I'm
No, I'm
very happy
not.
to be talking to. There's one man in the history of golf who has won the U.S. Open by 3 or more strokes and the U.S. Senior Open by 3 or more strokes. Do you know who that is?
It's probably me.
Correct.
Bingo!
Not Jack, not Arnie, not Gary Player, not Hale Irwin. It is Mr. Jim Furyk, the only man to win both of those U.S. Opens by 3 shots or more.
All right.
There you go.
See,
At least I
there's
picked
nothing he
myself.
doesn't know. There is nothing this guy doesn't know.
Yeah.
How has the transition for you been from, it just wasn't that long ago. You were in real serious contention at the Players, hit that unbelievable shot on 18 that you walked in. How has it been the transition from considering yourself a player to understanding, well, okay, I'm now just sort of this kind of player, and maybe I have a career in golf in this side of it now?
Yeah, I think my career, when I turned 50, I was still pretty healthy. I kind of hit the ground running on the Champions Tour, won my first two events, won my first US Senior Open. And at that point, I was really starting to battle with some injuries with my back, my hip. I had a full hip
Ugh,
replacement last year. And I
I know
realized
that
that
feeling.
I'm close to being, healthy and say, I'm never going to say 100%, but I'm close to feeling good, about my power, about my strength and hitting the ball. But um, yeah, I would say that presently I'm definitely not the player that I was 3 or 4 years ago. And that's something you have to accept as a player, as a person. It's something I'm still building, working to get healthier. I work on my game as well. But, there's a lot of other things I'm interested in as well. I practiced and worked as hard, or maybe not VJ Singh, but as hard as anyone else in the game. I probably worked as hard as and gave it everything I had for 30 years and every ounce I had for 30 years to squeeze everything I could out of my career. And I'm interested in a few other things right now. I started a golf course design team. We're now on building our third golf course in the Bahamas. And I love the game. I feel like I have a lot to give back to it, and I think it's a natural progression to want to kind of maybe give TV a try. And as I said, I've had some friends that have been natural at it and have had a really good time. And I'm guarded. I have folks that say, "Hey, I
Yeah,
think you'd be good at this," but you never know. There's never really a
yeah.
way to practice. They just kind of, my way of saying it is they're going to throw me in the deep end and hope I can swim and see how it goes next week. But I'm excited for the opportunity. And as I said, I look at the folks that I get to work with. Tommy Roy's producing the show. We talked about Terry Gann and Steve Sands, Kurt Byron, but I got Roger Maltby down on the ground, Smiley, Bones. So it's really a good group of folks. And I think more than that, being part of that team, being part of something a little bigger and putting the show together and giving the fans out there, some fun, some excitement, I think is something I was really interested in.
Before Justin asks the next question, you mentioned Tommy Roy, and I got to say, for 6, 7 years, I covered the U.S. Open, and ESPN and NBC joint coveraged it. And Tommy Roy would get up before we got there for the week and have this big meeting. We're all together and talk about this. And he said one of the greatest things anybody has ever said to me in any production meeting. He said, "Remember, we are not playing a tournament this week. We are playing our national championship, and you need to treat it like that." And I was like, whoa, that guy gets it. Like, yeah, I got chills when he told me that. I was like, yes, let's go. Let's get this thing started. Tommy is the absolute best. So that just
He is.
want to put that out there. It's unbelievable.
Tommy brings an intensity to everything he does, like Tiger Woods brought intensity to the golf course. I'll say that.
I've been around for a while, and Tommy produced a Super Bowl when I was in grade school. So he's that's the one analogy I can give you to say the experience is there. You're in great hands this week, and Terry and Steve, they're all the best to work with. I'm glad you mentioned your course design business that you started out on. What's your favorite aspect of golf course design? What's the thing you've kind of gained most from the beginning of that process?
Well, it's been another learning experience as well. But honestly, I like being out in the field. I like being out in the dirt. Um, trying to put something from two dimensions into three is very, very difficult. And I have a much greater appreciation for the golf courses and the great ones that I've played. But I think really being out there in the dirt, making the tweaks, the adjustments, coming up with ideas. And again, I'll go back to working with the team, because in order for it to work, working with your shapers and the guys on the machinery and the communication aspect of it all, dealing with the supers, the owners that have this grand vision of a creation as well. I've just really enjoyed being a part of it, and I think having the most nervous I think I ever was opening day. I renovated a golf course here in my hometown of Jacksonville, the Glen Kernan Club, and I'm a member there, and I know so many people that are members there. And opening that, I mean, if you
No pressure.
I was nervous to open
No.
one in Port St. Lucie, but I don't live there. I don't hear the comments day in and day out, so it made me nervous. But at the end of the day, we talked about, like I said, this game's given me so much, and I'm not trying to design 100 golf courses, but to leave a footprint on the face of the earth. We're not going to be here forever, so to leave something on the earth that folks will play for many decades to come, and have your name on that has been a lot of fun. And I've got a great business partner, Mike Beebe, a golf course architect that I work with, and it's just been fun. We spent a lot of time in the car traveling through Florida, traveling north, talking a lot about golf and golf course architecture, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, listen, I don't want to speak for Justin, but if you need field testers for this new course you're developing in Bahamas, we will serve as tribute. Just want to throw that out there.
We're getting ready to break ground soon, so I'm excited, and yeah, we'll have you down. Come take it. It's a nice resort, one of the prettiest beaches in the entire world. They say top 10. It's called Treasure Key.
Sounds great. You are uniquely qualified to help us with this discussion, because in the production meeting and the text back and forth with Justin and I, as the only guy who has two sub 60 rounds in PGA Tour history, 58 at the Travelers a few years ago and that 59 at Conway Farms, one was at a 72 and one was at a 70. So
71.
the number
71 and 7.
71. Sorry, I apologize. So I apologize for that. So my issue is, what is a better score in your opinion? Is it a 58 on a 70 or a 59 on a 71?
David Duval and I had this conversation. He was telling me that his 59 was better because it was 13 under, and my 58 was only 12 under. David and I can have those conversations because we're really good friends. So we had fun with that one. The better round, if I were to be dead honest, was the 59 at Conway Farms.
I thought you'd say that.
It was quite a bit cooler, a little tougher scoring day. I think I cut the field that day by 6 or 7 shots. I think the next best score was 65. Scores were not particularly low that day. So that round of golf kind of sticks in my mind as quite amazing. The 58 though is fun. No one else has shot 58. It's not going to be long. That record won't hold for 39 years. I think Al Geiberger, when he shot his 59, I think it took 39 years before the 58 was scored. And so it's not going to last that long. The players are too good, too powerful, too skilled. And that 58, 57 is coming. I promise you, but it's a pretty cool feather in my cap. And as you said, to be able to say the only one that breaks 60 twice. I mean, for a guy that's known apparently as the grinder, on tough golf courses, U.S. Open setups, to fire 2 low numbers. I mean, I look back to early in my career, 3 of my first 4 wins were in Vegas at 25, 28, and 29 under. So I think I was comfortable. If you had to make birdies, I was comfortable going that route. If par was a good score at a U.S. Open, I was comfortable in kind of changing my game plan and changing the style of play. So cool feather in my cap and something I'm proud of.
The nerd will support your statement about the 59 being better. You beat the field average there, strokes gained total, by more than 12 and a half shots.
Okay.
And in your 58, I think it was like 10.9 or something, like a mere 10.9 beat the field average by.
Okay.
And
I didn't
to your
realize
point,
it was that great.
yeah, it feels like they're breaking 60 every week on the Corn Ferry Tour. I think someone shot 57 last year. So
Wow.
I think you're right.
It's crazy.
Coming. It's on its way.
Well, not only that, when we're having a discussion, Justin off the top of his head, and in the 58, he didn't even make a birdie on the par 5 13th, which was the easiest hole on the golf course. Like, There's
We're
nothing
fighting
this
on
guy
that
doesn't
day.
know. There's nothing this guy
My
doesn't know.
favorite
It's
fact about that
maddening.
round is that he
Yeah.
was like a
I
27 on the front, and then he didn't birdie the par 5 coming down the stretch.
I'll tell you, that tee shot at 13 drives me crazy, and I
Oh.
striped it. It was like my best tee shot of the day, and I got out there and my ball was in a divot. I had to lay up. That's why I probably would have had a 5-wood or a 4-iron into that green, and I had to lay up. I was disappointed, but that's how it goes.
Round ended up okay.
Yeah.
It
Well,
ended up okay.
see, the mere mortals that play this track are more concerned about the pond on the right and OB on the left at the train tracks. Okay.
Yeah,
If we hit the divot in the middle of the fairway, I'm okay with it.
that tee shot drives me crazy. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, since we're on this, if you could change one rule in golf, what would it be? Because mine is you should be able to get relief from a divot in the fairway. That is literally ground that has been repaired. We have a ground under repair rule in golf. You did your job. You hit the fairway.
Yeah, the argument would be like the one that's half grown in. Is that considered a divot, not a divot? I'm still trying to get. I'm so old school. I'm still trying to get over the tapping down the ball marks or the spike marks. I mean,
It's visually jarring.
You watch the guys. You watch a golf professional on TV, and when they start to get nervous and they've got that 3-footer, and I mean, you can count like 10, 12 times they're down there tapping the ground. I mean, they're not building a trench to the hole because it's all sporadic, but I mean, it just, I don't know. I'm finally getting comfortable with the fact that I'm allowed to do that. So change any rule in golf. I'll tell you what I would do. I'm not going to be very popular for this, but I would reduce the size of the driver head.
Really?
Now, maybe not necessarily for the average golfer, but I would do that for the golf professional. I think it would
because
because you could hit it all over the face right now, and it's pretty forgiving, and you don't lose a lot of distance. I'll tell you, like I play a mini driver in my bag for my 3-wood, and when I hit that mini good, it goes darn near just as far as my driver. I mean, it's less than 10 yards difference. But if I hit it, if I hit a little thin, I hit a little in the toe, I hit a little in the heel, I lose a bunch of yardage. And I think you got these young guys that are rearing back and swinging 110% at it. And you can kind of cover areas on the face and get a lot of forgiveness and a lot of distance. I just think it would show an extra skill set. I mean, they're extremely talented, don't get me wrong, but I think it would also limit guys swinging 110% at it all the time. They'd have to kind of pick and choose their spots. And maybe golf courses wouldn't have to quite be as long.
By the way, what you just said, I think, is what's going to make you a really good announcer. You just said, I don't care. This might not make me popular, but like take that approach. No, I'm serious. I mean, I mean it. Like, don't worry about what people think. Say what you feel and say what you mean, and you're going to kill it at this job.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
One piece of advice, if I could give you, as someone who spent a lot of time in his life in TV production compounds, player dining is much better than the TV meal area.
Yes, that is confirmed.
I've been to the few times I've got to sneak into a player area versus the thousands of meals I've had under a big tent outside. If you've got the option, and I sense that you probably will have that ability.
Do I need to bring some snacks? Is that what you're telling me? Bring some snacks along?
The snacks should be okay. I'm just saying, like, if it's lunch,
the actual food, the
good stuff. Use the,
I was expecting that Muirfield Village buffet. I'm not going to have that, huh? All right, dang.
How about a cold piece of chicken and something that at once looked like a potato? I think that might be might be your best option.
I mean, a lot of PBJs.
Yeah, we know. We appreciate your time, so we won't keep you too long. I have two questions left for you. Number one, a lot of people may not know you were a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Absolutely.
Where are you on Mike McCarthy and a potential Aaron Rodgers reunion in Pittsburgh this season?
It kind of looks inevitable, does it not? I know the original knee-jerk reaction from most Steeler fans. They felt like in hiring Mike McCarthy, you kind of hired Mike Tomlin, but he was 10 years older. I think he's got a good track record with young quarterbacks. I think we'll need to find out if Will Howard's going to be that next guy. He's got a good winning record. I don't expect to see him there for the next 10 or 15 years like you think of Steeler coaches at his age. I think he's 62, 63 years old. But I think, give him 6-7 years, get that team back on track. They've been toiling in that 9-8, 10-7, not winning a playoff game for so long. And, McCarthy's had a track record at Dallas, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. He did it 3 years in a row. So I kind of like the hire. If it's kind of hard if Rodgers wants to come back for 1 year, it's kind of hard to tell him no, especially with McCarthy being the coach. But I'm also excited to kind of move forward. We haven't had kind of a long-term QB since Ben was there. I think he spent
Correct.
19 seasons with the Steelers, and grabbing a young guy that's kind of the franchise seems to be that's the key. And you're not going anywhere in the NFL without a quarterback. So I'm excited about kind of finding that next guy, and again maybe identifying if Will Howard is that next guy.
Well, as a Steelers fan, you probably know this, but it's my favorite football, non-football stat of all time. Since 1970, we've had 6 popes, and Mike McCarthy will be the 4th Steelers head coach since 1970. They don't make change, is what we're trying to say.
They do not.
All right, but before we let you go, I don't want to have you go all Max home on me, but you're a guy that obviously had an unorthodox swing and you made it work for you. I am trying to get better at this game. And Duncan, can you pull up one of my hideous swings for him to look at and tell me what you
I've
think?
got it. You've seen my swing. You don't want me to actually look at yours, do you?
I do, actually. I do.
Go to Adam Scott. His looks pretty.
Yeah, his looks better. But any advice that you would give as someone who's still trying to get better at this game?
Okay.
There it
I'm
is.
gonna put glasses on for this here. Hold on now.
He's got a little Scotty feet going.
55.
Yeah, but
Some
it's
beaters on.
I've got some Scotty going on because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Like, I'm not trying to be like Scotty. Here we go, Duncan. And action. That was on the 7th, by the way, hit the speed slot at Kapalua.
I didn't see it if I was supposed to. Where was it?
Oh, don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
No.
It
It's
didn't
fine.
come up on my screen.
Inaugural
Hold on.
show, working out the kinks.
Yeah. Believe me, it's probably.
Hold on. I got it now. I had to click
Okay.
over. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get this on a. Play it one more time for me.
There we go. Well, that helped, Duncan. There we go. You got it now?
My goodness.
This bit has gone on way too long anyway.
Well,
That bad?
no, you seem a little limited on the backswing. You kind of get
Correct.
The turn stops, the arms get up, and then you got that like step out to the left, the pivot. Like I think you were traveling. I think you lost your pivot foot, to be honest with you, on that one.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. All right, we can stop that now. Thank you for enduring that. So to show appreciation for you doing that, we have one other picture we want to put up for you now. Duncan, I took this a few days ago in the clubhouse. Look at that guy.
There
Who's
you go.
that guy?
Absolutely.
The king of Kapalua right there.
Are you out at Kapalua right now?
Even as we speak.
I'm so jealous. I was wondering with the wooden oars in the back.
Oh yeah, we're here. I've divorced winter. We don't do winter anymore.
Sends me
So
videos of him hitting shots at Kapalua. I'm at my son's t-ball practice. It's 95
Sounds
degrees
good.
outside. Yeah,
we all make choices.
Does the Swami still spend time out there?
He's out here now. He comes after the bowl, and we play a home and home, one at Kapalua and one at Kaanapali.
All right. Well, if you see him, you say hi to him for me. I miss Kapalua, and I definitely miss him. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Jim, we appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us, and congratulations on this new venture. I'm sure you'll kill it.